Welcome back, YouTube viewers. Thought I'd give you a brief update on the 75-gallon tank that I redid about 60 days ago. As you can see, most of the blackbeard algae has gone. The crypts are coming back out. This one is Cryptocorny parva, and then there's a smaller lutein. And then you have the Wendeti and these larger ones here. So the tank is coming along. I mean, it was a battle to really get rid of the blackbeard algae. I had a subscriber mention that he was having issues with algae. And really the only thing I did was I cut back on the macro fertilization. I bumped up the water changes and increased the CO2 level, and that seemed to have done the trick. I'm a firm believer in it's not the plants, or it's not the introduction of blackbeard algae, but I think it's imbalance in the aquarium, and I tend to simply cut the plants back a little and then go at it from that angle and do the water changes and bump up the CO2, and that seems to have done the trick. I changed a few plants around, not many. I wanted a little more red on the right hand side of the tank, so I moved the Rotella macranda here to the right side of the tank from the left side in the rear. I've moved the Altatrini reinecke a little bit over from it. There's the stargrass, and of course the Pagostemon gayi are growing very well. You can see them pearling here. It's a beautiful plant, and I've actually planned to have it, and I have it growing across the entire back of the left-hand side of the tank. So once that grows in, it'll make a really nice effect. Plus it's light and airy, and it'll give it a grassy look versus the Ludwigia that I had here previously. The Stargani Hibera here is a beautiful plant. I grew it here. It was on the right hand side where the Rotella is now, but I moved it to the left hand side in the rear corner because I think it'll give much needed shade to the Java ferns, the trident and needle leaf Java ferns that I have growing on this side of the tank. So, and as well as the crypts, because with T5 lighting you do get a intense light, and really it's important that some of the Anubias, for example, the copperfolia here, and I have a Nana Petite in the back, that they need a little shade, and the only way to do that is, one, to cut down on the lighting, which I really couldn't do due to the Pastemogons, the Rotellas, and the stargrass. They all require bright lighting. So in order to compensate for that, what I did was I simply shaded them a bit by putting them under driftwood and basically growing the Stargani here, which will grow to the surface and spread out. So it'll provide somewhat needed shade to the plants. I was finally able to clear them all of the blackbeard algae, and so they're coming along. As you can see, the trident there with the serrated leaves, and of course the needle leaf there, which is growing very well. Basically, the tank itself is pretty much as I want it to be, and I just simply got to sit back and let it grow. My initial reason really to take out the Ludwigia, it was a maintenance nightmare, so basically I'm pruning the tank maybe once a month. Actually, I just pruned this tank about a week ago, and already the plants are growing back out in full force, which isn't a problem because I really don't have to trim that often. As I said, about once a month. So the maintenance on the tank is a lot easier, and so for me it's a much better situation. I also planted Ritzia onto the driftwood. You can see the rubber band there. It looks hideous, but you can see it curling. So but actually it is an excellent plant for some of the driftwood that's higher up near the light, because actually it loves bright light, and it's a lot easier to maintain, and simply just by pruning it a little bit to shape it. And so it works real well, and it's an easy plant to grow. I actually have an additional 2217 on this tank because I'm cycling the filter for another aquarium, so that's why you see the inlet tube of the filter itself here, and that's what I'm doing with that. That's why it's sitting there, but it looks odd. But I just wanted to give you a brief overview of the tank itself, and to let you know that you know, as far as the algae and so forth, all of that's been controlled. And I've heard a lot of other hobbyists on YouTube talking about algae problems, and you know, a couple of you guys I think have it right. You know, there's a problem with the tank. If you have excess algae growth, either one or two things: too much light, too many nutrients, too many fish. All of those are factors in controlling the algae. And I tend to take the problem with the tank approach. In other words, if you have blackbeard algae, it's a problem with the tank, and so you kind of have to let the tank itself correct it. And you can do this two ways. What I did was I simply did more water changes. I slowed up on the macro fertilization almost to the point of zero, and so it kind of resolved itself. And so you kind of have to take away each item until you finally figure out what the problem is. And once the algae is gone, you shouldn't have any problems, because simply taking out the plants, because my initial approach was to simply take out the plants and destroy them. That can be a little expensive, so that option no longer applies. So then you have to figure out what's wrong with the tank. And so in this case it worked out pretty good, and it doesn't always do that, but in this case it did. So I just want to give you guys a brief update. This is about 60 days post revamping the tank, and I'm going to leave it this way for another year probably, and then I'm going to switch it to an origami type tank, and you know, make it more simplistic. But actually right now it's a stunning aquarium. All the fish have spawned. The scissor tails that have been in here from day one have spawned. Both tetras have spawned. Everything but the rummy nose tetras have spawned. But the serpes have spawned. As a matter of fact, they spawned yesterday, and you know, it's an interesting sight. And I hope you guys are breeding your fish, because the easiest way to get a school of fish, of course, is to spawn them. And all of these will spawn. I feed them intermittently with live foods, so you know, they are in excellent shape. So they do spawn periodically, and the serpy males are actually incredible when they do spawn. So just want to give you guys a brief update on the tank, and once again, keep watching my channel, and I want to thank you guys for watching. As I said, I'm one of the most boring speakers in the world, but I do appreciate your comments, and you know, some of you guys are really nice and appreciative of my boring narrations of my tanks. But it's a fascinating hobby for me, and one I've been doing for over 50 years, and I really appreciate you guys' input as well as your comments. And once again, thank you for watching.